Hey, it's your life coach, Harmony from the Harmony Inspiration. Now, before we get started, just in case you have questions, want to know more about who I am and what we do, we offer life coaching that inspires and changes lives quickly. Feel free to go to www.theharmonyinspiration.com for more inspiration and more information. Now, let's jump into it. Today, I am speaking about change. It's so many levels to change. It's so many parts to change. And the reason this is on my mind personally is because few things have happened in my life, maybe since the last post, since the last video. I go through phases in my life, as we all do, and I'm at a different place of acceptance and understanding. So what I mean by that is that through the years, we all change, right? What I liked at 15, I don't like at 21. What I like at 21, I don't like at 33, and so on and so on and so on. The concept of change inevitably pushes you into a level of the unknown, right? And also possibly being uncomfortable. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I feel that a lot of people that I speak with and people that I know personally that's very close to me have had instances and situations where there's been a change. Now, it's interesting because we all want certain things. We all have desires. We all want to grow. We want better this and we want to elevate and we want to get a bigger home and we want to get things that pleases us. However, we're resistant to change, which inevitably means we're resistant to the things that could come and be for us, because you can't say you want change and you want all these things, but you're not willing to change. We get uncomfortable and sometimes we feel, oh, this don't feel comfortable to me. So we stay in our comfort zone. And I know there's been plenty of talk. I'm sure you've heard, hey, get out your comfort zone. And, you got to move out of your comfort zone to get to the next level. But it's so true. But we're still so resistant. We know the solution, but we're still becoming our own problem. So today, I just want to give a few tips on how to stop being your own problem. And I may have talked about this a couple of times before in other videos, but the key is to identify all the things in your life that you say that you desire. So whether it's a job, whether it's your environment, whether it's a family, whether it's a home, whether it's material, non-material, whatever it is, have your section of your life written down of the things that you desire. So there's a section of things that you desire. Do a separate section of things that can possibly be keeping you from getting what you desire. So when that change comes, maybe think long and hard. Is this change, even though it's unknown, is this change a possibility that it's putting me into the direction of something that I desire? Case in point. So over the last, I want to say maybe 2-3 years, my desire has been to just have a little more flexibility. I've been in situations where, of course, I love what I do, but I always feel so restricted, so tied down. And even though you can love what you do, sometimes it can become overbearing. Sometimes it can be, yeah, I'm doing what I love, but at the same time, it's just so much tightness that you feel like you don't have any flexibility to do anything differently. Well, I started to think about my life and I said, well, what I desire is to have a little more freedom, a little more flexibility, to be able to sort of not have this feeling of, oh my gosh, if I don't answer the phone, or, oh my gosh, I have all these clients and what am I going to do to get to the next level? And what if I don't answer the phone? What if I don't get the email? What? So many what ifs. And my what ifs started to hinder my growth because I was already putting things and excuses in place to stop me from getting to the next level or where I desire. I was already saying, well, what if I don't answer the phone? Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose a client. Oh, what if they call and they can't get a hold of me? Oh no, what if I get an email and by doing so, it stopped me from certain opportunities. I said no to a few things because, again, I had the mentality that, yeah, on one hand, I'm saying, oh, I want flexibility and I want this and that. But at the same time, I was keeping myself in a bubble from having the flexibility and the freedom that I just said that I wanted. So it's like sometimes we keep our desires in a box because we're already putting limitations on what could be. How is it one breath I'm saying, oh, yeah, I desire freedom. Oh, yeah, I desire flexibility. I want more this, that, and the other. But then the opportunity presents itself and I'm like, oh, no, well, what if I don't answer the email? What if I would? By me doing that, it created a stressful situation for me because I was conflicted. I felt like if I wasn't glued to the phone 24/7, if I'm not answering my emails 24/7, if I'm not doing all these things 24/7, I'm not going to have the flexibility. When in reality, if I stop answering the phone 24/7, or if I stop checking emails 24/7 and I take a break, there's my flexibility. And I think a lot of times we do this even with our jobs, with our family, in any situation. We see and we know that there's a possibility for us to grow and for us to get what we desire. But we put ourselves in this bubble or in this box with the excuses and, again, the limiting beliefs and, oh, what if it doesn't work? And if you do this, then X, Y, Z, we don't know what's going to happen. But we're already shooting ourselves down before we can even allow the opportunity to arise. And that's why I say when it comes to something that's important to you, you have to embrace the change. Because if you don't change, you're just inevitably asking for the same thing. Or you're waiting for something miraculously to happen when it all lies within you. So my message today is fairly simple. It's just that if you have something that you desire, and if it's not going to cause harm, immediate harm that you can see that it's going to jeopardize your life or someone else's, why not take that chance? It may just be the very thing that's going to lead you to what you're asking for. But like I said, so many times we are shooting ourselves down because we think that we know the future. We think we know the answer. Stop telling yourself no and start telling yourself yes. Write that list. This is what I desire. Not only write it, but put a timeline on it. And once you do that, get it in your head. And once you're committed to it, doors will open. I promise you. I can't tell you how much. I can't tell you how it's going to happen. I will say that it will happen because now you're committed. Again, there's not room for two things to happen. There's not room for yes and no. It's either yes, it's going to happen or no, it's not going to happen. But you being in limbo allows you to attract things that keep you in limbo. People wonder why they keep running to the same situation. Different person, same situation. Different job, same situation. Check yourself. Ask yourself, what could I be doing differently? Or what am I doing the same? Sometimes it's not about changing to be different. Sometimes it's just moving little pieces. Not to necessarily be different than who you are, but just move a little piece. And by doing something little, inevitably that's a change. If you normally come home and you sit down and watch TV, maybe take some time to say, instead of me watching TV when I get off of work, maybe this time I'll read a book and maybe you may learn something new. Maybe this time I'll go on the computer and look for that car that I've been desiring. And you just never know. You may just see a sale. You may see an opportunity. Someone may be selling it. Someone may be giving it away. See, the thing is, we have miracles, or what we call miracles. But these are not miracles. These things happen every day. But it only happens when you change your perspective. Because once you change your perspective, you change how you view things. And because of that, different things will gravitate towards you. But you have to be willing. You have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to change something. Otherwise, it just stay the same. And you know that this is nothing new. So again, if you can write a list, and I'm a firm believer in writing lists. And the only reason I say that is because most times, and of course, everybody's different, but most times when you write down something, it stays in your mind. And not only that, but you can change your plan of action. You can do something different because now it's written and you can sort of see versus it's just swirling in your head like, yeah, I know I need to do this. But sometimes when it's written down and it comes from you and you take the time to write the words, it sticks in your memory a little different than, oh, I know I need to do this. Then you can always go back and make changes, make adjustments. Focus on maybe one or two things. It doesn't have to be the whole list. But at least you've taken a step. And that's all this is about, is just taking a step so you can get to where you want to be. I'm Harmony with the Harmony Inspiration. I look forward to our next session. And again, if you have any questions, want to reach out to me, www.theharmonyinspiration.com.